Yandai ritual. Run the ball like Mitchell, or you can be like Reynolds and Skipple. Give it to Johnston and he'll get triple. Pass it to Cleary, you know he'll run the pitch. Score points like Jabojevic, I'm game day fit, no need a switch. Cooking up like Cookie Man's in the kitchen. Who's that on the wing? It's Sivo. Score, try and do the Guffrino. Don't get too rowdy or too keen, or you'll end up like Hassan Tino. Get a 40-20 like DCE. Run the ball like hectic cheese. Support runner, that's Pappenhausen, but I still got Teddy at the SCG.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Final Siren podcast. So happy that we're all, Faraz and I are both here today to wrap off round 2 of the NRL 2023 season. We have some results to talk about. We have some injuries to talk about, some suspensions, and some news to talk about in general as well. If you're with us in the chat, maybe just get the chat alive, get the chat going, ask any questions you want. We'll answer them at the end. But first off, Faraz, how are you doing today, mate?
Yeah, good, mate. Another round done and dusted. Can't wait for round 3. It's going to be another cracking round. From what I've seen so far, this conference is going to be hard to call.
Yeah, definitely. For me, round 1 was a really close round. It was going to be hard for round 2 to back it up, but I mean, it did have some great games round 2. So I guess we'll have to see how it goes for round 3. But I'm looking forward to a lot of the games for round 3. We'll start off with the results. Thursday night, Panthers versus Bunnies. Panthers got off to a 16-0 lead at one stage, and Rabbitohs, towards the end, nearly came back. Now, if any of you in the chat were there for the Twitch stream, you would have seen the fact that for that game, I did pull up the fact that last year, Rabbitohs versus Storm, I think Rabbitohs scored in like the 67th minute and ended up going on to tie up the game. And I said I reckon they could do it here tonight. Alex Johnson scored in what is said to be the 66th minute, but watching it live, it was in actually the 67th. So, I mean, if any of you were there for the Houdini shit I called on that Twitch stream, that was some crazy stuff. And Faraz, for yourself, did you end up watching the game? And did you see the little play by Cheekham at the end to put a grubber through for AJ to nearly score?
Yeah, I did watch this full game. I took the Panthers. I just thought they'd have enough class to win at home. I wouldn't. Yeah, look, this game, the scoreline doesn't really reflect the Panthers' dominance, but I mean, that's just the Rabbitohs for you. They're a class side. They're always in the game no matter what. They were 16-0 down and out. And then for them to come back like that, nearly steal the game, I mean, that ending just had it all, honestly. I thought he was going to get to it. Yeah, look, it's a bit of an unlucky loss for the Rabbitohs. A bit of a controversial loss as well with that second try from Luke Garner. That was supposed to be a knock-on that was called knock back. They didn't have a look at that. In my opinion, that was a knock-on. And yeah, that sort of was a difference. Look, I'm not going to take away from Penrith tonight, but those moments come back to bite you, and it did for the Rabbitohs. I think for the Panthers, Simon Luke definitely stood out. You know, he came on, did a job. It looks... I know they're missing Happy Coruscant, and he's not Happy Coruscant, but once he learns and once he gets more game time, he'll be a huge star for them. Mitch Kenny, he's a good player, but defensively, that's all he offers. Yeah, look, a bit of a weird game. The Rabbitohs were in that first half, but that last try before halftime just killed any momentum.
Yeah, for me, this was a fun game. It was a good one to watch. Me and Lockie had enjoyed our time streaming it. We'll try and do that most Thursdays. We can't make promises though. But if we can get 2 of us on a Thursday night to commentate the game and watch it on Twitch, then we'll try and do that definitely. But yeah, it was a great game to watch, and I enjoyed it. But Friday evening, Eels versus Sharks. Now, this one, I actually, in the NRL tipping, I did say on Sam Rebel's channel, and I've said it a few times to different people, I said I was going to be tipping the Sharks. NRL tipping app, I ended up tipping them by 4. So that's the first tip of, I think, maybe the first tip ever. I've got completely right team and score, margin. But what did you make this game for us?
I mean, Parramatta, this is why we all insult you and you're the joke of the combat. All jokes aside, look, this was a fantastic game. Look, I think the Sharks to score 30 points, beat a top 4 side from last year, grand finals without their star number 7. I think it just goes to show that what a side they could be. Obviously, last year I wasn't that high of the Sharks despite them being in the top four, but from what I've seen so far in these two games, without Nico Hines, the first game, they gave Rabbitohs a run for their money. A few controversial calls in that one as well. From what I've seen so far, they probably have hurt from what's happening in the final series, and they want to look back and take the momentum forward and go to the next step. And so far, I'm seeing that into the Sharks. Whenever they're down and out, they always find a way to come back to the game. And that's what top-tier sides do. I criticised them last year for not beating the top-tier sides. It's only round 2. They already gave the Bucks a heart attack without no Hines. Then they beat Panthers themselves without no Hines. So, look, so far, I'm actually really impressed with the Sharks. I had them 7. They probably are going to finish top 4 if they keep it on the form. And Will Kenny take about a lot of pressure on the man without his start 7, and he just took it up to the Eels. Mitchell Moses, you got to stop whinging like a baby, bro. Or just go back to the West Tigers, mate. But look, it's not panic times for the Eels just yet, but you can sort of see that they're missing Reed Marnie a lot. Hopkinson just ain't it for me.
Yeah, definitely. For me, I didn't actually watch too much of this game, but Faraz, I know over on Sam Rebel's channel, you actually pretty much handed me on a platter the stat that Mitchell Moses has lost every single milestone game so far, 50, 100, and 150, and now 200. I went with what you said, and I ended up tipping the Sharks because of it, and I believe you ended up tipping Eels.
Yeah, I did.
Oh,
so,
nice.
I mean, hey, at least I'm still leading the tipping comp, I guess.
But, no, it was a great game. And yeah, I didn't actually watch too much of it.
For me, this was game of the round, in my opinion.
Game of the round for you? That's fair. I personally, I thought Panthers Rabbitohs was good. I also really.
I think why this was game of the round is because Panthers Rabbitohs, it was a boring outset sluggish match for the 60-minute when Rabbitohs came back. For Sharks, it was up until the 22nd minute when Sharks scored their first try. It was an arm wrestle from there.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah, like I was saying before, for me, I actually didn't end up watching too much of this game because it was before the main event for me, the Broncos vs Cowboys game, in which I was actually at the game. But yeah, it was. But from the highlights I saw, it was a pretty good game, and I'm looking forward to seeing how Sharks continue to go without Nico Hines. They did pretty well to go without him against the Eels, and I reckon they're just going to keep going on from that. Maybe pick up a few more wins. But Friday night, main event. I'm just going to say this now. I'm going to say it pretty quickly. Reece Walsh, player of the week, in my opinion. And it's the opinion of everyone on this podcast. You can call it bias if you want. But there's a lot of people I know who don't like Broncos who thought Reece Walsh was the player of the week. But shout out to Reece Walsh. The stats shown on the NRL app actually don't do his performance justice. Because he was involved in 4 of the Broncos' 5 tries. And it would have been 5 of 6 if one of the tries didn't get disallowed, which I still don't think he gained too much advantage from that. I don't think it was an obstruction. But, I mean, each their own. Broncos still end up getting the win. What did you make of this game for us?
Oh, look, this was probably the game of the round for most people. I don't think it was, but it definitely did live up to the hype. This was a classic game. The scoreline in the end doesn't reflect that. For the Broncos, you know what really impressed me as a Broncos fan, though, Noah? I think in that first half, Broncos were way below average. They were at their best. And yet somehow they found a way to be tying up with the Cowboys at halftime. Cowboys are like a top 4 side. We didn't even play our best footy yet. Towards the end of the first half, we were somehow 10-10, so we were the whole game. So I think that half as a whole shows that the Broncos are a resilient green side, and that they can never give up, and they can match it with the top-tier sides. Look, this game for me, the Cowboys started off really well. It was 8-0. Broncos were looking a bit shaky. They had a lot of field position, a lot of attacking opportunities, but they never really looked like going anywhere. I just don't think Billy Watson is it yet. He's not a bad player. He gets a lot of hate from me, but attacking-wise, Broncos had nothing. Somehow Carrigan got the ball every tackle in that set, every time they attacked. Cowboys' defense was resilient. I think the momentum-changing match of this was when Ezra Mann went over for a try. Reece Walsh finding his winger, Corey steps sides, goes for a run, kicks it for Ezra Mann to score. And I think that's what gave the Broncos the confidence. And Cowboys would probably be filthy because, in my opinion, they were definitely the better team in that first half for sure. So I think to be tying up, probably should have been leading if France didn't miss the kick. So, yeah, look, this win, if you look at it as a whole with the Broncos overall, you wouldn't be surprised because they've beaten some of the top tier sides. But now it's about being consistent and now backing up. We thought last year. I honestly thought last week probably would have been a fluke, but this game proves right here that the Broncos can be the real deal. Just be consistent and Reece Walsh, take a bloody bell, mate. You've gone through all that crap and shit from the fans, and you delivered such a performance. So just be consistent, mate. Us Broncos fans know what you can do. Just shut the haters up, keep doing what you did, and Brisbane will be a top 6 side if you continue that.
Yeah, definitely. Broncos. Some people are already saying there's cries of top 4 this season. I'm not too sure yet. 2 rounds.
Matty John says we're a premiership threat.
I mean, if the great Andrew Johns is saying that about the Broncos, then you know something's going good for the Broncos. But thanks to 2 people we have in the chat. Jonty Munt, Reece Walsh was player of the week. And yeah, I agree with you, Jonty. I think for me...
Just a reminder, lads, this is how it stands. Brisbane being the big brother, I don't know if you can see that, but Titans at the bottom, so yeah, it is what it is.
Oh well, poor Titans, poor Cowboys at the moment, but oh well, we move. Broncos 28-16, ecstatic with that win, so happy. Saturday afternoon, the Roosters beat the Warriors 20-12. This was a bit of a weird game. Roosters definitely weren't at their best. The Warriors did show some resilience and heart. I reckon Sean Johnson's playing a lot better than he did at the end of last year. And well, throughout the whole of last year, probably. I don't know. The Warriors, there wasn't too much they could have done more, except I think it was the start of the second half or something. They started throwing the game away. They had a lot of sets on the Roosters line, I was told. I didn't watch too much of this game. But the one thing I did see at this game, I'm not sure if you watched it, Faraz, or if you saw this, but Joseph Suaalii made a line break.
Oh, that one's Tedesco didn't pass.
Yeah, and had Tedesco on his inside, decided not to pass, nearly ended up costing his team a try. At that point, it was 18-6. Oh, no, sorry, at that point, it was 14-6 or something like that, or 12-6 or something. But could have been costly. He's lucky that Sam Walker was backing up well enough, and Sam Walker ended up getting the try on the sideline, but fucking hell. You need to be passing there to your fullback.
I mean, if Suaalii wants to play fullback and you're doing that, then it's not good signs. But he is a youngster. I think a lot of people are giving him a lot of hate for it. In the end, they did score the try, so I don't want to really go into it too much. But for me, this wasn't the Roosters' best performance. And honestly, it's only 2 rounds, but I can only go what I'm based off seeing right now. And Brandon Smith, to me, everyone was just hyping up being signing of the year. I just don't know about that. He's not playing enough minutes. He only played 20 minutes, and then Turpin came in. I mean, imagine a side where you just take Brandon Smith off for the first 20, then Turpin has to come in and finish the game. That's not... I know Jackson Pollard had a good game, but I still don't think he's the shit yet. Tedesco was fairly off, in my opinion. Look, I know the Roosters won this, but the Warriors, if they had their full-strength team, because I think they lost a few forwards in the middle, right? If they had their full-strength team, they could have probably won this game. And I think the most disappointing for me is that we're all going to praise the Warriors because they had a great performance, inspiring to the end, but they honestly could have won this game, and that pisses me off so much. I'm not even a Warriors fan, but those silly errors at the end, Dylan Walker dropping on first. Then, did you see the play where, I don't know who it was, but he played dummy half and no one was there, and then Tupou just picked it up? Those moments, they're just when you lose, you want to be giving your best. You want to challenge top-tier sides. You don't want to, just give away silly errors because who knows? If Warriors come 9-10, this is an easier game they could have won and helped them make the 8. So, look, it is only round 1. I love what I'm seeing from the Warriors, but now back it up next week. Just got to back it up next week. And you could have won this game, so take out the silly errors. You can beat a lot of teams on your day. And that try from Sean Johnson, that backup ball to Wayne Egan, that is vintage Sean Johnson. He didn't play the best game so far, but I'm actually liking the Warriors a fair bit here. They started well. Had a brave loss here, so it's interesting to see how they go from here. As for the Roosters, they'll take the win. Wasn't impressive, but we'll know they'll be on for Friday night against the rivals.
Yeah, definitely. Roosters, they have a habit of not starting the season too well. It's happened the last 5 years. Roosters, they don't start the season well. They ended up finishing top 4 or top 6 anyway. Roosters fans don't get too worried at the moment. But I don't know. Yeah, Brandon Smith, I'm not too sure on him. I think he did have to come off injured with a back injury, apparently. So fantasy players, I'm probably giving Brandon Smith 1 more week. I'm going to make my decision tomorrow. If he's not playing, I say you sell him off.
I still think he'll be a good signing for them, but not signing of the year.
Yeah. Definitely. And we'll go to a team that has a lot of options for signing of the year because their whole team is made of signings. The Dolphins. 2 wins on the trot, 20-14 against the Raiders. Hamiso Tabuai-Fidow, one of the best games he's played in his career so far. Tom Gilbert had a good game as well. I think Sean O'Sullivan had a pretty good game considering, although he did get sin-pinned at the end. Mark Nichols off the bench again has earned himself a spot in our team of the week, which will be probably coming out about tomorrow morning sometime. What did you make of the Dolphins and the Raiders for us?
Oh, I mean, fins up, mate? But look, yeah, this is such. Look, we're not big fans of the Dolphins. We've made no secret of that, but you can't deny what Wayne Bennett doing is just greatness. Wayne Bennett is NRL, bro. Like, I still don't regret at the time doubting the Dolphins because of the weak squad, but Wayne Bennett just showing his class, how he's got his players up for. And mind you, the Raiders and Roosters, they were both top 8 sides last year, so they've got a tough start, and they've already won the first 2 games. Do I think they'll make the top 8? Probably not, but I had the Wooden Spurs, and I'm already deeply regretting it. I mean, the way they're playing with such confidence, they're not backing away from a challenge, and I think that's what working in their favour. They don't really have any sort of pressure to do anything this year. So a lot of people are looking at Dolphins as a winnable game, and these 2 games, they've ambushed the Roosters and Raiders. Like, Roosters had their greatest performance, but Dolphins made them bad. And here, this game, Raiders kept going at them. I think it was like 10-0, and they came back like that. They came back to the adversity and came back to win that match, you know. So they haven't been in that situation before. So Wayne Bennett, he's one of the best coaches in the NRL for a reason. This result just shows that, look, I actually want the Dolphins to win next week. So when we play them, it will be 3-0 for both sides. If the Broncos get over the Dragons. But look, Hammer's having a great start to the season. Jermaine Izaka is doing some great things. Mark Nichols off the bench. Love seeing him get a meat pie last week against the Roosters, eh? Yeah, look, great signs. I think Jeremy Marshall King, that he got Sinbin, they still managed to find a way to win with a man down. So, look, the Dolphins, they haven't been in much in our experience, and they've already won their first 2 games. So, anyone that was thinking they were an easy team, think again, like, they're coming for years. For any team, honestly.
Definitely.
But also, can I ask, are you concerned with the Raiders so far? Because you have them 15, so they've already gone 2-0, so...
I'm not too concerned yet. I think the Cowboys game, they ended up coming back pretty well. Only lost by 1 against the top 4 team last season. The Dolphins are just in pretty good nick at the moment. I wouldn't be too worried about it if you're a Raiders fan. I think, but personally for me, I don't really see Raiders going back to the 8 this year. I've had them on the lower half of the ladder for pretty much this preseason. I think too many quality teams are going to be competing for the 8, and Raiders probably aren't in there for me.
It is. I do understand that it is frustrating for Raiders fans because they always get slept on. But if you look at it this way, like you look at like some of the teams like the Bulldogs, they're looking really good at this stage. Broncos, if they fix their shit up, they should be top 6. So look, for the Raiders, it's about being consistent. They have those good halves and they have those bad halves.
Well, I'm making a bold call here. If Broncos, and it's not even that bold, that's how good they've been. If Broncos keep up the form, if they play the way they played the first 2 games, if they don't have any more off-field dramas,
or injuries,
or injuries, if they keep going the way they've been going the first 2 rounds, I reckon they can place top 4. And
right, but
it shouldn't be a surprise to people.
But we'll get to that in a second. But yeah, look, the Raiders for me, who are they playing next week? This week? Oh, they've got Cronulla, so tough game there, but they've got some good games. So would you say this is sort of a must-win because Raiders are one of the few teams that haven't won a game yet? So if they go 0-3, is that a bit of a worrying sign?
I don't think it's a worry because of the because of the quality of teams they've played this week.
Right.
So far this season. But then the next week they have the Knights, and if they don't win against the Knights, then I'm starting to worry if I'm a Raiders fan. But yeah, as I was saying before, though, I'll quickly finish up on that. Welcome Joe Bisho to the chat. Thank you so much for joining in, Joe Bisho. Leave any comments and questions you have, and we'll get to them at the end. But Broncos, it shouldn't be a surprise to people that if Broncos stay fit and healthy, if they keep playing with the form they've been on, they should be top. They should finish top 4 because you look at the squad they have on paper. They're one of the top teams, talent-wise, but they just can't.
Right.
Just young,
I think going back to this game in a second, like I think Felice Fishing, man. I mean, what a weapon! Like We know what he can do, but he's taking his game to a whole new level. Those big hits, he's just bringing that intensity. And that's what you want from as a Dolphins fan. He's sort of like that leader of the pack now.
Yeah, and that's a fair assumption. Kaufusi, he was a bit of a questionable signing for me when he first signed.
Yeah,
but he's proved me wrong. He's been a good signing for the Dolphins. He's brought the intensity, and I feel like he's led with his actions, which is what you want from a more senior player in your team. We'll move on to Saturday night. Not Broncos. Bulldogs versus Storm. Bulldogs getting the win 26-12 over a very, very depleted Storm team. What did you make of this one, Faraz? I don't really think there was much else.
I didn't really watch this. I was in cinemas watching Creed. I was watching a Donny Creed in the cinemas, watching him box it on, and I'm seeing this. And I check my phone to see the score, and I see the Bulldogs 6-0. I'm like, not bad. Good start, but they'll eventually fade away. Then I look at my phone again in 10 minutes. It's 18-0 all of a sudden. I'm like, shit, what's going on here? I couldn't believe what happened. And look, on paper, when you look at it as a whole, the Storm, it should have been a competitive game. But I think just looking at the Bulldogs Storm recently, I just didn't want to tip them. I think Storm 1-12 though, but I did not expect this at all. I mean, congratulations to the Bulldogs. Look, I'm still not sure on how much I rate the Bulldogs just yet because Storm had a few injuries out. Look, the Bulldogs did have a few injuries out too, but Storm are missing Ryan Papenhuyzen. They're missing Justin Olam. They're missing, who else is it that they were missing this week? Munster. So look, those players are like origin level caliber players, and you can't just replace them easy. So look, congratulations to the Bulls on winning, but the Storm are sort of going to be that thing where a lot of teams can now target them and get more victories. They'll have a more or less successful season. The Storm with injuries now. Nelson's gone for a few weeks. So look, the Bulldogs credit, they're going places. They're going to improve for sure, but are they still top 8, top 4? We'll have to find out. I mean,
anyone who has the Storm dropping out of the top 8 after that game, you probably need to take a look at yourself, because.
But I wouldn't even say it's that bad. I'm not saying they'll miss it. I think they'll still be top 6 easy and all that when the players get back. But like, it wouldn't surprise me honestly with all the teams coming through. Now Nelson's gone. They've missed when you look at the top 30 squad, they've missed 11 players now. And if the Bulldogs can beat them like that in Melbourne, 13 plus like that, there's no reason why any other team can't. And Bulldogs were off form. Melbourne came off a convincing win against Parramatta with players out. So look, I'm not saying now we start thinking they could miss it because the Storm can come back, but anything can happen. I wouldn't put it past it now, honestly.
Bisho says, thoughts on my boys, the Chooks. I'm going to have to be honest with you, Bisho. I think they didn't look up to their best, the Chooks.
But knowing the Roosters, they'll probably come back strong. So
they always start the season shit and they always end the season quite well. Last season they didn't end it too well, and that's why they lost week 1. But usually every other year they've ended it well. I said before, Roosters fans, you have nothing to worry about. You always start the season shit and you always end it well. So I think it'll be the same this year. I reckon Roosters will still finish probably top 6, definitely top 8. But I just think they always start off pretty terribly. But I mean, you got the win over the team, so over the Warriors in the end, and you got the 2 points, and that's all that matters. Lachlan says, Fraz, I'll buy you a headset that fits. Ooh, a bit harsh there.
Nah, all good, Spra.
And John T. Munt says it feels good at the top of the ladder. I'm happy for you, John T, but you won't be there for too much longer. And do I do it? If Manly win the spoon, I jump off a cliff. Sorry, if Manly win the minor premiership, I jump off a cliff. No, I'm not ready. I'm not ready to make that one yet. But it's good to see. It's good to see the ladder so changed up. For once after round 2, I think this is the first time.
It's only round 2. I mean, I'm not going to buy into this ladder.
Well, it's only round 2, but this is the first time. I think first time ever in NRL in the NRL era, where after 2 rounds there haven't been 4 or more teams that placed in the top 8 last season that are in the top 8. So it's a bit of a weird stat, but it's a good one. And I'll get to that question soon. We'll finish off the footy. We'll go to Sunday afternoon, Tigers versus Knights. Aye. This was shades of Tigers versus Titans 2022.
Oh God. You know what? Let's just be positive. I mean, credit to the Knights. Like, this is going to be a bludge of a match, but credit to the Knights. They lost Brady, they lost Ponga. They had, like, a man down on the bench. They Saifidi went off for like, a send-off for 20 minutes. They had to defend the last 20 minutes with, like, one less player, and they still won somehow. I don't know how, but credit to them. Like, Adam O'Brien, if they lost for me, he would have been feeling the heat. And, like, I think with the Dragons winning as well, that would have put another extra mark on them. So for Newcastle to get away with a win, it wasn't convincing, but at this point, they wouldn't even care, bro. They'll take the 2 points by any means.
Yeah, definitely. I think, fans of the Knights, you do have a reason to feel, happy about your team getting the win there. But this is the reason, and I'm sorry to say this, any Tigers fans listening, this is the reason your team plays on Sunday most weeks.
I mean, you had a 10, so
that was, oh my goodness. The only 2 games I've ever watched of rugby league and felt like falling asleep during is Tigers versus Titans last year and Tigers versus Knights this year.
Yeah. Look, I feel bad. I don't want to shit on the Tigers every time. I want to see them do well, but it's like it's getting to the point now where it's like, what do they need to do to get better? They've got Appy Chorus there, and I'm saying, look, you're not going to improve overnight in 2 rounds just like that. But if you look at that game, they were playing like last year's style, even worse. Like at least last year they could find some points and all that, but here they just look like a wooden spoon team. Once again, like you had Dane Laurie kicking on last. You had bloody Brent Naden kicking the ball around. I don't know what the fuck he was doing. Luke Brooks was actually good, but he's going to get hate still. Adam Dewey has a big mouth. Can't back it up with his performances. He was good the first half, but flayed it away. I just don't know what their back go-to is. Appy Coruscant had a shit game. He looks so unsettled. The forward pack, I told you guys before, what's the use of having a good forward pack if your spine doesn't back up? Dane Laurie has talent, but has schoolboy errors. Brent Naden, he was average with his running game. Like, the 2 tries, one came off a controversial call, which was probably double movement, and one of them just came back off a flick pass off the shoulder. So they're attacked, bro. Like they've got Appy Coruscant now, they've got Papali. Like, and you look at the Bulldogs, look at them now. They've steamrolled Melbourne. The Tigers are still struggling to beat Newcastle, and Newcastle did everything in their power to lose this game. They had like 10 men off. Like for me, this game, I think that set off just exposed the Tigers in 2023, and it's only round 2. You never write anyone off, but I'm sorry, looking at the way Tigers have played, I am so scared for them. I'm really scared for them. And mind you, like this was a winnable start for them. 2 games already that they've won.
It was a boring game, and I'm not really going to touch much else on it. Otherwise, I'm worried I might put myself to sleep thinking about it. But we'll go to Sunday evening.
Well, also, what are your thoughts on the Jackson Hastings situation with Tommy Talau and Clemmer?
I've actually put that in the news, so we'll talk about it soon. But Sunday evening, Dragons vs Titans, pretty stock standard. Not really much to talk about here. Titans, I mean, I'm not sure how they blew a 12-2 lead in like they had it and they blew it in 10 minutes. But I mean that's just footy. They ended up losing 32-18. The Dragons were just too good. What did you make of it?
Look, 12-2 isn't a big lead, but the Titans have been known for choking leads, and it's not for me how they let it. They just let the lead slip so easy. Like they were on top of them. They had everything over there. Had a few calls their way as well. Not saying they were like robbing Dragons, but they had all the momentum and shift. But yet again, they still found a way to leak points. And in the end, they lost by 13 plus. They looked so good at the start. And you were just sort of thinking like, yep, the Titans are going to prove they're going to have a decent season. The Dragons are heading for the wooden spoon. But I think everything just changed. Jacob Lutter had a great game. I'm not high on him as a signing, but gee whiz, he looked great in attack through the middle. Ben Hunt steering the ship around. Zach Lomax stepped up today. Good on him. He's a talented player. I just don't know what we're on for the Titans. Like, they were up 12-2. They had everything going their way, and it just fell apart, didn't it? There's no other way to sugarcoat that. Like, credit to the Dragons. A lot of people are picking them to be last. Look, it's only round 2 once again, but Titans, man, come on. You had them up your sleeves, and then just what happened? You forget how to defend. Like, they can score points, Titans, but you're not going to get anywhere in this comp if you can't defend for shit.
Yeah, definitely. It's not exactly what you want to see from. I mean, I wanted to see a close game here, and I was one of the people who did end up tipping Did end up tipping Titans 13 plus.
I tipped Dragons last minute. I tried to tipp plus all week, and I tipped Dragons last minute.
Bisho, you were 1 for 8 this week, and I'm guessing the one team you got right was Roosters. My goodness.
Oh no.
That's I mean, I was 3 for 8 this week. I was horrid.
I got 6 for 8.
6 for fucking hell. You did pretty well. But now for me, again, Sunday was a bit of a boring game. But Dragons fans, you did look promising, and I'm not too sure if you get the spoon yet. It's only one game though, so you can't really tell.
Well, I think we know how they are by when they play the Broncos in Brisbane, who are flying on cloud nine right now. So if they can walk away from that game with a win, maybe I think that'll be a huge result for them.
Yeah, definitely. For me, I think I'm not sure. Yeah, they're one of those teams, the Dragons, where I mean sometimes they started off the season pretty well and they've ended it poorly. But we'll go to a ladder update and then we'll talk about some injuries and some
notice how all the teams had a lot of off-field issues. Yeah, the Dragons, Broncos, mainly have started so well.
Yeah. So round 2 ladder. Manly on 4 points. I won't go through the points differential. That'll take ages. But Manly 4 points. Dolphins 4 points. Dragons 4 points. Broncos 4 points. Those are the only undefeated teams so far. Panthers 2 points. Rabbitohs 2 points. Warriors 2 points. And Titans 2 points. That rounds out the top 8. Roosters 2 points. Sharks 2 points. Knights 2 points. Storm 2 points. Cowboys 2 points. And Bulldogs 2 points. That rounds out the teams who have at least won one. And the teams who haven't won a game yet: Raiders on 0, Eels on 0, and Tigers on 0 in the wooden spoon position currently. What do you make of the ladder for us? I mean, it's only round 2, so not much to say. But
that is such an ugly top 4. What is that top 4?
Other than Broncos, surely.
No, the Broncos they're alright, but I mean, mainly they didn't make top 4 in 2021. But come on, they're not making it this year. But yeah, look. This year, it's only round 2, but from what I've seen with the game so far, like even that Bulldogs upset, just as the Broncos upsetting Panthers, Dolphins upsetting Roosters, it's going to be so close to call. I generally don't know. Like, if you get 6 out of 8 for your tipping, you should be proud. Like, this year's going to be so hard to tip. I honestly don't know what to expect. Like, we all thought Dolphins easy wouldn't spin. They're coming out fiery. Broncos, we thought they're going to fade away. They've been in top 4 sides, basically. So, yeah, this is going to be a cracking year, mate. I can't wait for more footy. Like, yeah, it's going to be a great season, mate.
It is going to be. I reckon it's going to be the closest season in quite a while. If you don't think so, and no problem. I don't judge you for not thinking so. But yeah, I don't know. For me, it's going to be close this year, and I'm not even sure. I'm not even sure where each team's going to finish. We'll quickly go through the injuries. We won't touch on them too much, but Corey Oates jaw fracture, 6 to 8 weeks. Nelson Osofa Solomona, torn MCL, 8 weeks. Kurt Mann, a calf injury, but wasn't specified, 4 to 6 weeks. And Adam Elliott, a groin injury, 4 to 6 weeks. Now, there were a few more people, HIAs and such, who were injured, but there wasn't given a time limit for how long they'll be out for. For us, it was a bit of an injury-ridden round. What did you make of that, at least?
Yeah, look, as a Broncos fan, Corey Oates is my favourite player, so to see him go down like that, I mean, just broke my heart. But, yeah, look, do you think the punishment was called Drinkwater's fair, 3 to 4 weeks out?
It's a tough one. I think watching the replay a few times, it's definitely not how you tackle, but I'm not sure. I'm not too sure. I can see the intent obviously wasn't there.
Yeah, there was no intention. Like, a lot of people are giving Drinkwater hate for it, and I think the suspension is fair because that's not how you tackle, right? But Corey Oates is so tall. He's running in. Yeah, like, look at the height difference. Drinkwater literally has to come up like this to tackle Corey Oates, and if he doesn't make that tackle, Corey Oates scores. So yeah, look, I think 3 to 4 weeks is fine for Scott Drinkwater.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'm not even sure.
So Corey Oates will be back by round 9. Is that the time slot?
I believe so. It's 6 to 8 weeks, so he could be back round 10. Round 10, he could be back round 8 or round 9. But I'm hearing it'll be round 9 against the Rabbitohs, and he does love a cheek to try against the Rabbitohs, so he'll be marking that one in his calendar. But news segment, we'll do a few news pieces. We'll get to the comments. Talau, Clemmer, and Hastings get into it after the Tigers versus Knights game. I've been raring to talk about this one. Fucking hell. It just shows the Tigers' culture at the moment at the club. It's Hastings, for anyone who didn't see, Hastings has gone up after the game to apologise to Tommy Talau because he ended up hitting him in the face and causing him to spend the rest of the game off with a HIA and concussion. And so Hastings went up after the game to apologise to Talau, and Talau ends up trying to push him and start a fight. Clemmer decides to come in like the fucking mediator he is, and just I'm not even sure. There was so much going on here. What did you make of it for us?
Can I just say one thing? Look, I think Tommy Flowers in the wrong here, but even then, like, it happened with him, so let him sort it out. Why does Clemmer have to be a big hero, come in and act like that? Like, and I genuinely mean it, if the Safidi brothers were there, was he going to do that? No, he wasn't. Like, you spent all that time getting angry and fired up. Put that into your footy, mate. Like, your team needed you the most this season. Like, they've signed you up. They've given you a chance. Like, this is a huge, like, season for the Tigers. Like, a must-win game, basically, in a sense. And you've just acted like a total, I've lost for words, man. I'm genuinely shocked. Like, I can't believe what's going on. Like, when you're a club like the Tigers, man, and you started poorly like that, and you played a bludger of a game like that, that's the last thing you want to see. Because even for Tigers fans that want to defend it, your team's going to be in the headlines now. Your team's going to be heavily scrutinized, and they're going to get more and more shit now for that. And that just doesn't, like, reflect the club. Like, Tim Sheens was about to, like, bring and fix that culture. Clemmer and Talau just ruined that representation. And now people will be like, what is Sheens doing? Like, is Sheens doing the right thing? Is he the right man? And I believe he is, but players these days don't know how to control themselves. Like, look, Talau can be angry. Fair enough, it happened. But at least the bloke went up and apologized. And even then, like, that's fine. You two have your argument. Why does Clemmer have to step in and be a big hero? Like, mate, just settle down. Like, bro, who do you think you are? Just, like, F off, man. Like, generally, I'm being for real here. Like, that's just disappointing for Clemmer. You're not a hero, mate. Like, your team's fucking shit. You're probably going to come bottom four again. Put that fired up and anger intensity into your footy, man. Like, stop. I want to see the Tigers do it, but behavior like this just shows why the Tigers are in this position. And you know what? Yeah. Credit to Newcastle. Hastings owns you. Like, credit to them. Well done, Newcastle.
Callum Ponga has suffered his fourth head injury in 10 months, and it's sad to see for a player of such talent, and his career is being ruined by head injuries. For me, it all goes back to the decision to move him at 6.
Yeah.
I don't think it was the right decision. He's had problems with his tackling technique, giving him head injuries before, and then they've decided to put him in the front line. For me, if he's going to continue on in his career, he needs to take a bit of time off to get his head right, and then I reckon he's a fullback.
Oh, as a Queenslander, this breaks my heart because I honestly think Callum Ponga has a lot to give to NRL. He's only played 99 matches in his career. He's been here for like 7 or 8 years, and he hasn't even played 100 games yet. Next time he plays, it's his 100 games, so congratulations to him. But I honestly think Ponga hasn't done enough for them. He has a lot more to give. We haven't seen the best of him yet. We haven't seen him reach his peak yet, and that's what disappointing for me. He's such a talented player, but these concussions, man, they keep ruining him. Newcastle to put him at 5. And it's not even performance-wise. Like, I think he can do a great job there, but he's one head knock away from medically retiring. That's his 4th concussion in 10 months. Like, it's not a joke anymore. I'm actually worried for him as a Queenslander because we know what he can do at Origin level. At this point, like, if he keeps it up, like, yeah, man, this is Newcastle just a basket case at the moment. I mean, look, my heart and wishes are out to Callum Ponga. I hope he's right and he's fit and ready to go for Origin, but at this point, it looks like probably Rick Swalsh or AJ Brisbane might take that spot. So, look, I want Ponga to play fullback. He's the right man, but injuries and all that are ruining his career. It's only been 2 rounds, and he's already gone to another concussion. It's serious, man. And as much as I hate to see him go like this, he has to choose health first. If it has to come to that.
Yeah, definitely. Roosters reportedly, re-signed Tedesco until the end of 2025, and Nathan Brown until the end of 2023. I'm not sure where the salary cap money came from for Nathan Brown, to be honest.
I was going to say.
That's just it with the Roosters. The salary sombrero added again. Uncle Nick with the paper bags under the table. I'm not really sure. Congrats to Tedesco for re-signing with the Roosters, though. I didn't think he was going to leave, but Yeah, I'm not too sure. The Roosters. A bit.
Do you think? So do you think Sawali is going to move then? Because he's only signed for 1 year though. So I don't know. I mean, what do you think? This is a bit of a tough one.
Suwali doesn't really strike me as a. I mean, I know it was only recently he re-signed with the Roosters or something, or apparently he's going to re-sign with them for a couple extra years. He doesn't really strike me as the loyal type, from what I've seen of him. But I think they'll keep Tedesco at fullback for as long as they can, probably until the end of 2025, and then if Suoli's still there, he'll take over. But if Sully isn't still there, I'm not too sure of Joey Manu's age, but I reckon he could be a good fullback replacement for Roosters when he retires. Joey Manu.
Manu,
because he is an absolute freak, and he played.
Well, Manu is turning 27 this year, so in 2 years' time, he'll be 29 roughly.
Yeah. So good on him. He could be the next Roosters fullback because he's still there for another few years.
He's got the ball playing skills for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Only thing is he doesn't pass most of the time, so I guess we'll have to see what happens. Drinkwater. So this is all the suspensions. Drinkwater has been suspended for 3 games, Hiku for 2, Isaiah Papali'i for 1, Jeremy Marshall-King for 2, and Daniel Saifidi for 5 games. Would you say these are all deserved?
Drinkwater, yes. Hiku, yes. Papali, I'd see. Jeremy Marshall-King, yes. Saifidi, that's a big one. I mean, I'd probably say 3 to 4 weeks. 5 games is a lot. Holy crap. That is a big loss for sure, bro.
See, the thing about the Saifidi one, I think I looked at it on replay, and yes, it does look very bad, and obviously I think it was a send-off at the time. But you look at the last Mitch Barnett. He last year purposely put his elbow up in the neck of a Panthers player and actually put the Panthers player on the ground. He ended up only getting 6 weeks for that, Mitch Barnett, and that was on purpose. Daniel Saifidi has sort of gone to make a tackle and turned and like he just couldn't move his body in time. He gets 5 games for it. For me, it's a bit over the top. As long as Simpkin is fine for next week, I reckon give Daniel Saifidi 3 game suspension.
Yeah.
If Simpkin was not fine for next week, I'd say 4 games. But
yeah, that's fair.
I don't know. 5 games is a bit extreme for that. Peter Vlandis, and this is the last piece of news before we get to some questions, so make sure you put some questions in the chat and we'll get to them soon. Peter Vlandis has revealed the NRL is interested in a 20-side competition, and an 18th team could join the NRL as soon as 2025, which the Dolphins have only just been added. That'll be their third year will be 2025. I'm not even sure. What do you make of this?
Look, I know there's been calls for some teams to have another New Zealand team, a per team maybe, but I just love the NRL the way it is. Honestly, I'm fine with the Dolphins. I guess 17 teams, but I love the competition as its history right now with all these clubs. I think they're trying to be too inventive right here then, because like for me, they are just rushing things right here. They've already just added the Dolphins with a lot of struggle as well, like to get the best market players. Look, and it's going to be critical to which ones they choose as well. Like PNG is offering a team, Perth on a sports team as well. So look, like they've just added the Dolphins. Like they're going way too overboard here right now for me. Like give the Dolphins some time to establish themselves as a footy side in the NRL history. So look, I'm not a huge fan of this to be honest, and I've got not much further comments to make here.
Yeah, I'm just going to say I'm going to touch on it very quickly because we're getting a bit later on the time side. But for me, if they are adding 3 more teams, for me a must-have is Perth. Like another Perth team. I reckon Adelaide Rams could be back. So I'd go like Perth Reds, Adelaide Rams, and I'd like to see the Bears come back, possibly as a Central Coast team or something like that, or something Central Queensland would be good. I know Jai Bisho was talking to me about that quite recently. But so I think we need another. If they are doing 3 more teams, I reckon a Queensland team, a Perth team, and Adelaide team would be good. And I just don't think there's enough talent for another New Zealand team. I don't think there's enough New Zealand talent for that. But I mean, I'm not really too sure. We'll end off here with some Q&A. There's a lot of questions in the chat. We read a few earlier, but Vernon Snake says, "Where do you have your Broncos now?" It's too hard to tell after 2 rounds. I'm going to go us finishing 5th, and that's quite high, but I like what I'm seeing so far. If we keep it up, I'm going to say 4th. But for now, 5th or 6th.
That's fair.
What about you, Faraz?
This is tough, man, because their ceiling is so high, bro. I honestly think they could come as high as 3rd, but they could end up missing the top 8 as a whole. I'll go 7th. I'll go 1 spot higher now. Actually, I'll go 6th. Why not? I'll go 6th.
6th. Love to hear it. Now.
But that's not confident. I still have them like 7 to 8, but I think they could go at 6 with their current form.
Joe Bishop says, "Holy cow, Noah in the smoke today." No, not quite, Joe Bishop. Not yet.
That's why he's the Bobcat.
Titans can't defend. Yeah, it did seem like that, didn't it? Fucking hell. I'm not too sure what to say, though. It's only round 2, just finished up now, heading into round 3, so not much to say. Teddy re-signing, how good. Happy for you, Roosters fans.
Yeah, it wasn't a surprise to me.
Yeah, I didn't think he'd leave. The only club I possibly saw him going to would be back to Tigers.
Tigers,
that's if he got forced out. But didn't even see that happening. Most disappointing side, most impressive side, and most shocking side of the week.
Okay.
Are you starting?
All right, thanks, man. Most disappointing, there's a few teams I could say, but I'm going to go the West Tigers purely because Newcastle had a few plays out. Ponga Brady, they had an extra man down, and they still couldn't win. And you want to touch up on your one?
I am. My most disappointing, I'm going to go Tigers as well. It's just the amount of possession they had, especially on the Knights line, and the fact they still ended up losing that by. It should have been by 8 they lost by. That second.
Realistically, with all the possession and everything, they should have won 13 plus, in a sense.
Yeah.
But they're clearly not good enough.
What about you for impressive?
Most impressive, I'm going to be biased, but I'm going to go Broncos purely because I just think they've beaten 2 top quality sides right here and right now. With all the off-field dramas and whatnot, a few injuries here and there, I think the way they took it to the Cowboys after being down 8-0, I think Brisbane for me. They're showing a lot of good signs.
Yeah, definitely. I think for me, it could be Broncos, but I'm going to go a different route. I'm going to go the Sharks.
Yeah, I was going to say Sharks, but I just feel like Sharks are a more proven team. But yeah,
Sharks. Because obviously Broncos, I'm very happy they beat a team who placed top 4 last year. But Sharks, I mean, they did it against the runners-up last year without their main.
I've got to say, respect to Trindle Gray. He has to be in an NRL club soon. Like anyone that could pick him up, you should take him. He is a gun.
Yeah, definitely. And most shocking side, I'm guessing that's not meaning shockingly bad. I'm guessing that means you're shocked by the result of them. For us,
Bulldogs, Bulldogs for me. Look, the experience is improving. They should improve. And look, I'm a bit critical still after the result, but credit to them, man. Like they really took it up, and they beat Melbourne 13 plus in Melbourne. Like that's a great result. That gets the confidence right up, and I think they should smack the Tigers. I want Tigers to win. I hope you smash them flogs, but they'll win 13 plus. They're doing more.
Yeah. For me, I would say Bulldogs. I'm going to go something different though, just to be different. I'm going to go Dragons. I was shocked at how well they came back from that 12-2 deficit. They did it quickly as well. Dolphins a shout out though for most impressive side of the week because the fact that they were down by, I think they were down 12-0 at one point to Raiders. The fact they had the guts to come back from that, it's just Wayne Bennett at his best, and it's good to see. But well, the last couple questions. Noah, it's not, mate. It's really not funny. Tigers are flops. What? I'm not sure what this is in correlation to. I don't think the Tigers are flops, but the Talau, Clemmer, and Hastings was just a bit over the top. It's a bad look for the club.
Wait, when did Noah say they're flops? I'm confused.
Yeah. Drinkwater was unlucky, but you don't tackle up. That's not how you tackle. No. And yikes, Faraz doesn't seem too happy with talking donkeys. Just an assumption.
No, I give them the roses too. I'm not really a big fan of them, but I love the players then. Matt Burton, Josh Adokar, and special message to Jacob Preston who scored a try in I think that was his debut game, was it?
Yeah, it was.
I've heard some good things about him. Look, I'm not really a big fan of the Bulldogs, but credit to them. They play well. Kuraz was really good. He's the future. I think for the Reed Martin was great. Look, it's not. Look, I don't like them, but when they play good, you got to give them roses. And I didn't expect this at all, so I'm not going to pretend like, oh, Bulldogs, wow, congratulations, guys.
Yeah, very fair. That'll wrap us up. That's all the questions, all the content we had. But make sure you go and follow our Instagram at the Final Siren Podcast, or go follow our Twitch, which is at the Final Siren. We'll be streaming games on there Thursday night. You'll be able to actually watch them on the screen while we're talking about it as well. Absolutely brilliant. So this Thursday, I believe it's Manly versus Parramatta. If Faraz is free, he'll be there. Lachlan could be there if he's free. I'll definitely be there if I'm free. And Davos, obviously, if he's free, he'll be there too. But it's been a good stream, lads. Thank you so much to everyone who joined. And like I said, go follow our socials. Especially subscribe to us if you aren't already here. We're trying to make this a living, and we can't do it without you. So thank you so much for all the support tonight. We'll see you. We'll probably see you Wednesday night for the round preview for round 3. The NRL season's back. It's better than ever. We'll see you all then.